Okay, welcome everybody. This is Tommy Danielsen here with the Miles and Points Report, and I am reporting for you back home from California now. I've been on the road for the last more than 3 weeks. I got back last Friday, and today we're going to get back into it again. Not with our daily shorts with Rudy, but we got some interesting guests. We're going to be talking about various subjects today, so it should be an interesting show. I feel like it's the first thing we wanted to cover and talk a little bit about is the upcoming FTU that we have that's going to be hosted in Orange County. And this tomorrow, Friday, is the last day for you to get the early bird tickets. You get a big discount if you're one of our annual members. And it is it's going to be the only, in-person event that we have this year, except for the Travel and Adventure show that we did earlier. And also, but these are the infamous classic FTUs, if you will, November 12th and 13th. It's in Orange County, and it's going to be a good time. That's so house cleaning item number one. House cleaning item number two is if you participated in we're one of many hundred that participated at the virtual event a couple of weekends ago. Those courses are now uploaded to your account, so you can see them in there. Well, that was the housekeeping of today. We're going to head on right into material of today, and I have a real treat for you guys. Really smart guy that's we've learned to love over from Award 1. And Joe Petrovic is joining us today. How are you today, sir?
Hey, Tommy, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Did I pronounce your last name correct, or?
Yes, it's Petrovic. As it would have come over from from Croatia, it would not have been that, but it would have been Petrovic. But it is, as it came over here, that's what it is.
Cool. Good time. So I think that there's been a lot of movement today or this last few weeks on various credit cards. And, there's always something happening, but there has been some movements on the front. And I've seen it follow your group. And for those who are not familiar with your group, you work the original Richard Kerr group that turned into Award Wallace group. It's now you're the forefront and the king of that kingdom right now.
I'm one of the community managers, and I do kind of pay attention to what goes on in the group. So I guess you can say that, yeah.
Right. And you guys published on a regular basis a lot of analysis when it comes to credit cards, movements, new cards coming out, and things like that. And the last few weeks has been, and I saw today that there were some spreadsheets that came out that gives you a good overview. So I completely recommend heading over to Award Travel 101 as a good resource for that. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the credit card world. We've seen some movement in the Marriott world. We talked about that a little bit yesterday in our shorts. But when we have a little bit more time, we see that the premium card, a Brilliant card, has made some move, and there's also a new card.
Yeah, there's two new cards, one from Chase and one from American Express. Up the certificates, if you can earn them, you of course now have to spend $15,000 on them, much like the Hilton Surpass card. I don't know that these cards are that great for the community and members at large.
Right. Let's take a look at these guys and see what they got going on here. What we're seeing here is we have these are the American Express cards, and they're kind of identical. One of them is called the Bevy card, and what they said in the press release is that this card is supposed to be like for those who want to earn a lot of miles or a lot of Marriott points quickly. Is that really that accurate?
I think if you're looking to stay at the hotels, the earnings really aren't improved any. If you're looking to spend, I think does one of them have? Yeah, they do have an improved grocery, I think, and dining. But is it
Right.
enough to make me want to use that on? I mean, to be honest, I haven't even paid that much attention to the earnings because, let's face it, these cards are not giving you enough relative to the more flexible currencies such as your American Express, your Citi, your even the newer player in the house, you have built rewards at 3x, and those are fully
Right.
transferable to some of our more favorite partners like Hyatt.
Should we say that it's accurate that that these cards are just good for staying at hotels and getting the benefits that hotels, and you shouldn't really be using them for anything else?
I wouldn't use either of those cards. I mean, the lower fee cards, if you look at the old Amex, and I guess you could call it the Legacy SPG, and or something like the Boundless, those cards are $95. They come with 35K certs, and of course, we don't know what's going to happen once Marriott unleashes their chart next year. So I guess really these cards to me are sign-up bonuses and sock drawer cards.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the luxury card, if you want to get platinum, if that's really something that's really important to you, spending $650 to get platinum, I personally don't see the value in it, but it is a quick way to get. But they kind of got rid of the relevance of this card for using at a hotel when they turned it into a dining card.
Yeah, so the one play that was there, and we had published this in the group as well as Award Wallet, is that if you had, we had enough notice that was coming, that if you had signed up for the card, 4 to 6 weeks out, you could actually cash out the credit. So whether you used it on a hotel or you bought a Marriott gift card, you could actually use that and then still take advantage of the $25 monthly dining credit that comes with it. But yeah, for a lot of people who are loyalists, I don't think they're going to be that enthusiastic about the $25 dining credit.
No, it's just another thing to keep track of, especially for professionals like you and me. Where I mean, those always get missed, and that's something that these guys are counting on for you to miss it.
Yep.
So what else sexy is out there? What we were talking about the built card, and I saw a lot of posts in the last 48 hours about the beginning of the first of the month. You get a double earning or something like that.
Yeah. So they have starting. I think it was starting the 1st of October, I believe it is. They call it Rent Day, and they're giving double points on most of their purchases. I think there are still, I think rent might be exempt, but that's a card that has been gaining popularity and traction. Not so much within the terms of there's still no major sign-up bonus. Sometimes they have.
Right.
There have been offers to get a sign-up bonus, but it's relatively small and it's generally targeted. So it's not been something that we talk about a whole bunch, but it's a nice way to earn points on something that if you have to pay, I mean, I'm not a rent payer and I don't have anything that I can use that for, but if you can do it without having to pay a fee through something like Plastique or some of those other bill processing payments, it's a nice way to earn free points. And of course, a lot of the partners, American, United, you have, what else? You have Turkish Airlines, Hyatt. So there are some partners that a lot of people should be interested in.
Right. And there seems to be more adding on to that. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it's to me, if I was a teenager, this is a good starter card in my book. I think it's there's no fees involved, and 3x on dining is it's the highest the only thing that I can think of that's higher than 3x on dining is the Amex Gold, but that's only for domestic dining, obviously. So 3x on dining is pretty good. But then again, you have to think about how much, if it's a starter card, how much do you eat out, except for at McDonald's, right? So it's obviously the spend that you have is minimal on it. But I think it's worth looking at, and I think that it's interesting that they have advantage because that's something that neither Chase or or a Capital One or American Express offers a transfer to them. So every once in a while, when that one ticket uploads, you have the ability to transfer over. Do you know how fast the transfer is between Built and the programs? Is instant, or
Award Wallet actually has a tool that tracks that, and we haven't had enough data to actually track that yet. So I don't have that information yet.
Right. All right. So what else sexy is out there in the credit card? What should people who are now like looking to up their game a little bit and get a new card? What are some good offers, and what are some good I think good ideas that you have to share?
The old reliable right now, really, it's been long. I think it's been, I don't even remember. It's months and months now. The City Premier has continued to hold that 80,000 point sign up bonus. It's not a high annual fee card. It earns 3x everywhere. So, in these times right now and throughout the pandemic, we've had all kinds of promotions that, it's 10x here or 15x there, a lot of different bonus type promotions. But the Premier, prior to all that, would have had to been one of the most attractive cards because it has so many natural bonus categories. And so it earns, I call it almost a 3x everywhere card, because you can pretty much go just about anywhere and earn 3x on that card. So and of course, for people who want to go over to more of the Nordic, you've got your choice partners, which are, it makes some of these transfers look nuts. I mean, you talk about low points usage, and there's a lot of choice opportunities. And then if you're into more luxury end, of course, you have the preferred hotel connection as well through choice. So it makes your points, you're looking at anywhere between 12,500 to 27,500 points, which is certainly falls within a Hyatt range where most people consider it to be a good redemption.
So is it 1-to-1 to choice from this card from City?
So what I like about City versus Capital One, and we were just having this conversation in the group a couple of times, because I am actually sub 524, and I keep looking at it and saying, what does Capital One offer me that I don't already have through City, Chase, and American Express? And they have tap and a core. And so where the City, I think, outshines everything is, again, that choice transfer. And you get, for every 1 City point, you're getting 2 choice points.
Wow, that's amazing value. That I was not aware that it was a 2-to-1. That's a 1-to-2. That's really, really good. Yeah. When as you can see from all of my my stressful shorts hotel reviews from the various choice hotels, I did go a little bit ape. I did go a little bit ape this time around with the daily deals. I actually bought like a couple of grand worth of points, and I used them for our other business to pay for our customers' hotel rooms, and it's been paying off insanely much this time around. I've saved thousands and thousands of dollars. So yeah, the Nordic Choice hack is actually beautiful.
Yeah, there's that. And then again, if you want more, there's almost 400 hotels within the preferred hotel chain that are choice partners. So you can look into those. One of those that I'm sad that is no longer part of that, but up through last year was the Montage down there in Laguna Beach. And you could
That's amazing. I didn't even know they were a member of anything.
Yeah, they're actually still a member of Preferred Hotels. They're just not a part of the Choice Privileges program. And you can book that for 55,000 choice points per night. And if you look at that, that was a hotel that was regularly, $1,300 to $1,600 a night to stay there. And if you look at it from City thank you points, it was 27,500 points a night. So
wow, that's crazy. I've never seen that. That place is usually way over $1,000 a night.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it really less than 1,000 when you talk about everything all total.
Yeah,
so
not anymore for sure. Are there any other So why are they excluded now?
I don't really know why. I assume they left the program because they were probably not getting paid well enough. I don't really know that for certain, but I mean, when you looked at the value proposition relative to other properties, I mean, other properties that were charging the same amount of, because in the preferred hotel chain, and from a choice privileges, 55,000 points is the top of that tier. It doesn't go any higher. And when you look at the cash rate relative to the other programs or other hotels that were charging 55,000, they're well above it. And I assume it was a compensation issue, but I don't honestly know.
Are there any, so there are quite a few preferred hotels on this planet. Are there any sweet spots that you found that you've been looking for that you found that's good?
Nothing that's really as sweet as the Montage. The Montage has been something I've been visiting for years and I've always wanted to get into, and I was really disappointed I wasn't able to make that work. Generally speaking, I mean, most of these otherwise are you're looking at one to 2.5 cents a point, so nothing that's outstanding. Although if you look into France, there are some that may be a little bit better.
Right. So, for those who have never done this before, you have your say you have your 100,000 city points or city points sitting in your account. How do you get them over to redeem for preferred hotels?
So you're going to go over to your transfer page, just like you would with American Express or Chase or Citi to any of these transfer partners, and you can transfer it over to Choice. You'll get 200,000 Choice points for your 100,000 Citi points, and then you'd have to call up Choice privileges. There's a phone number under the preferred hotel chain. Unfortunately, is not an online booking option, but you can kind of see a calendar for what's bookable, and it'll give you that award availability.
And does it tell you how many points that's needed on the website, or do you have to call for that too?
Yes. No, it'll tell you what the so you can look at all the properties, and like I said, they start anywhere from what is it, 25,000 points, which is Choice points, so 12,500 Citi points per night, and that's and it goes. There's 4 of them. It's 25, 35, 45, and 55, and they'll all be identified as to what they are. But generally speaking, it's been, everything else has been pretty close into that 2 cent per point if you look at it from a Citi point, not from a Choice point. So I mean, if you're buying them for half a cent a piece, like they had some of those deals, and you're saying, hey, I'm staying at some place that's $800 a night, but now you use $400 worth of points, then that's a deal.
No kidding. Let's not teach them anything more here, because it's no, this is a beautiful hack. I think that it's people are like Choice hotels, and they're like shrugging and thinking that you're going to get a comfort inn, right under the landing lights of 27 right next to the strip joint at LAX, and that really isn't the case, is it? There are so many sweet spots, and this is definitely something worth your while for tuning in today for this. So thank you so much, Joseph, for dialing in today. And what's your next trip?
I don't have a one planned right now. I'm pretty far out. I just finished my last. I did a status run for United to complete a status challenge, AA Executive Platinum over to United 1K status. And I actually have nothing planned until Mexico next spring break. So we'll have to find some ways to fill some things in.
I think a Japan trip is definitely now in the cards, now that they decided to open up their store. So I think that's definitely what we're planning on. We have a trip that we've postponed 3 times, so we're trying to get that on the books now.
Sweet.
But always great to see you, and thanks so much for dialing in. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye. All right, we're going to chat a little bit about we got Jamie coming in from are you in your kitchen?
No, I sent you the hotel review before.
Where are you?
Clearly don't check your text. The Residence Inn in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Don't get too excited.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, right. We were talking about choice hotels. You seem to be officially bottomed out underneath all the choice hotels, and then a little bit of dirt, and then where you are. All right. Yeah. Now we're going to chat a little bit about the Air France bringing out their new business class, and it's the world was holding their breath about when they were figuring out what to do with their business class, obviously. When it comes to Air France, it's they've had their awful seat on the excuse me, on the Airbus 380, but the triple has had kind of like the same seat you're looking at here. It's not very much different, other than that little stupid door. What is it with the stupid door?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of it because it doesn't provide that much privacy. I mean, I guess maybe, if you're in lay flat mode and somebody's walking through the aisle, I mean, I guess it provides some privacy, but you can still just peer over the top of it, as you can see. I don't know. I don't know what the infatuation is with it.
All right. So this is an incredibly poorly written. You have to do a little research in order to figure it out. But since this is the only thing I could find about how the new business class actually looks, we're going to use this as a. It seems like it's a 777, and for those who don't know, Air France has the La Première, one row of 121 La Première first class is on the 777-300ER, which this reconfig is as well. And if you look at the picture, you can see that, you got the cockpit up there, and everybody almost had a heart attack seeing that there's no first class. So, or at least I did, because it's such a phenomenal product. It turns out that this is I had to look up the registration, and it's one of their the beach market triples that has been refurbished to have this business class first. So it looks like, it looks like any of these seats, right? It's just a little bit of a design difference. So it is the French seat. What is it called again? Not that it matters. Saffron is what it's called. So it's very similar to all of these, the seats that are here, the American Airlines seat and the whatever the case may be, all of this with this little door. I mean, it doesn't even get up, barely above your belly button. So it's not like you can't look across. You can't even look across to the thing. But, big screen, 17.3 inches, 4K display. It's got a little remote going on. You've got the what is that?
I think that's the logo.
That's the old Le Pochamp Ayer is what it's called. It's the old Air France logo that they use and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. And good thing. I haven't seen this before. It's a charging mat. Have you seen any of that before?
When I flew Finnair a few weeks ago, there was a wireless charging pad on their business class as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the new Finnair business class. It's at least a little innovative. But, this is like run-of-the-mill stuff. This looks like the American Airlines seat, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I don't like about it? It's very sterile looking. A lot of that white. I don't know. At least they could have put some other colors in there, but it just looks like a hospital, bed.
They have the color in the aisle. If you can see from how it looks in the aisle. The aisle on the outside is blue and corporate, and the inside is blue on one side and white on the other. It says to do with style. The French kind of have it. Americans kind of don't. So that's just the way it is. But so looking at the article that we saw with the rendering from May 26th from the press conference that the new suites are coming. And they're thinking that the 77W is going to have a little saloon where you have a little chair and a little couch system going here with the new ones. And I think it's going to be 111 on the triple, not 121 like it is now. That's kind of the scuttlebutt about it. Hasn't been confirmed, but it's supposed to come early next year. And they've got to hurry because they're now starting to redo these triples, not the 200s, but the 300ERs. and that's kind of the gig here. But yeah, so no need to alarm. I can't believe that La Premiere is not even mentioned with a word in this article. But that's pretty much how that goes. Any comments?
No, I mean, I think it's just a run-of-the-mill business class. I think they added a few unique features with the wireless charging, the logo, that kind of stuff. But it's nothing monumental. It's nothing earth-shattering.
I think that's what they do. What I like with Air France, first of all, it's pretty readily available on using miles on very, very many of these. It's readily available. Transferring over to Flying Blue, always a transfer bonus and things like that. So it can be had, and they've been, for the last couple of months, they've been 400,000 points or miles for each way or whatever, crazy pricing on flights that are virtually empty. I don't know why, but at the end of the day, it looks like the availability is coming back, so it's easy to redeem. Second of all, I mean, the lounges in Paris, the lounge in Paris is brilliant. They have before the pandemic, they had Charles Heidsieck, a solid $75 bottle of champagne in a business class lounge. They also have on board solid wines and solid food. I think that's the Air France gig. And when it comes to the cultural piece of it, some like French people in service, some don't. Hello, little huckleberry. All right. So I think that's all we've got. And the last thing I want to talk to you about before we move on to the next gig is American Airlines rolling out a new wellness menu. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I got the press release this morning. I was chatting with someone from American not too long ago. I mean, it's 3 dishes, 1 for breakfast, 2 for lunch and dinner. The lunch and dinner ones, you'll be able to have a dip thing for an appetizer. It's in partnership with the James Beard Foundation with some nutritionists. I mean, the photos look good. I mean, it all depends in practice how these taste.
Yeah, it's going to look like that when somebody plunks it in front of you.
That's my concern. I mean, there's a lot of veggies and stuff. I mean, let's be real. Half the crap that American serves is, saturated, who knows what, and butter and grease and this, that, and the other. So I think it can only go up from there. I mean, if they truly want to put an effort onto this.
Yeah. So looking at what we have, what do we have here? We have various grains and crap. There's some cauliflower. There is a piece of salmon in there. There's some sort of a sauce for the one on the right. And then on the left, there's some sort of, is that tuna? Is that a seared tuna thing going? Or is it another?
So the weirdest thing is the article mentions nothing about fish. If you scroll up a little bit into Ben's thing, there's a chicken. Where the heck is it? There it is. It's a grain bowl, a golden roasted chicken for lunch and dinner, and then this frittata or whatever it is for breakfast.
There's no mention of fish. Wow, that's one pale looking chicken.
Yeah.
But the one on the right is definitely a fish. I
don't understand it either. Maybe they left that out of the press release that it's a grain bowl with salmon. I don't know. But I will say that the one thing that article mentions, and that was in the press release, which I think is maybe the more important thing, October 12th, American is bringing back pre-order only foods. If you remember back when they used to have that charcuterie plate and the cheese plate, it doesn't say what meals are coming back.
Two pieces of salami.
Oscar Mayer. Oscar Mayer bologna. But something is coming back October 12th for pre-order only. So if you don't pre-order it, you can't get it on board. I think that's at least somewhat promising, because we already know the other, entrees are kind of crap and unhealthy. So it would be nice to pre-order a cheese plate or whatever, like Alaska has. And those will be only in advance. You can't do that, day of.
So what are we talking about? So before we cut it off, I know we have a meeting in 1 minute, but trend-wise, what are you seeing for ticket prices these days?
Ticket prices no, that's fine. I can check for a second. Ticket prices on what? American or
on anything? What are we looking at?
Oh, it's through the roof. I have to go to Vegas for something next weekend, and the fares are now 600 plus in coach. I mean, it's just out of out of this world crazy high. I mean, forget about traveling first. I mean, that's just that's exorbitant as could be. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been.
I'm looking at completely different numbers here from the booking numbers. Some domestic routes last minute, sure, but don't worry about it. We'll talk to Marty about that. He's about to dial in now. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you soon. Giddy up, Marty.
Hey, Tommy, how are you doing?
I got out of the covet closet.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, no kidding. Covet for the first time. I thought I was one of those super fighters or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I guess I just was lucky for longer than normal, huh? All right. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this. Is like the biggest subject of today: the trends of what we can expect for pricing and miles and availability and flights and all that kind of stuff this winter. Because the signs that we're seeing so far is that it's looking like it's kind of we're on a cliff and it's going to drop. It's the feeling that I have. Do you share that feeling? Or
I mean, I've been playing around with award availability for a few things, and I'm finding flights available on miles and points Fridays and Sundays. And Mondays, this is things that would be unheard of in normal times. You normally yes, it's a little slower, but you can't normally find a business class award ticket to Europe, a few months out readily available, let alone Asia.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, the signs that we're seeing are the sales that various carriers and also the incentives that they are doing. Like Southwest, how many sales have they had? 40% off is a substantial amount of money. And also that they're now allowing you for earning status with your award tickets. Neither of them are good signs for them. It's good signs for us, but not so good for them. Do you share that assessment?
Well, I saw a commentary in one of the Star Alliance groups where they went to a United focus group, and part of that, they were told to expect in Q1 some sort of an accelerator, just like we saw this year, because there are folks who are traveling and then there are folks who are not, but airlines have already invested a lot in getting people into their ecosystem, and they want to keep those folks whose travel has been reduced but not eliminated in your ecosystem. So I think you're going to continue to see this leisure travel, but I don't think you're going to see leisure travel, revenge travel like you may have seen in the past year. But I think pricing will be irrational for the time being. And I think if you are patient and willing to book things last minute, just like they are right now, when revenue management plays games, suddenly at the last minute, they find themselves with unsold seats, and they'll be willing to sell those seats somehow.
Right. Yeah, I honestly, when it comes to overseas flights, it feels to me like it is a, if I were to look at my home market, that I spent a little cool couple of hours looking at what we're looking at, what the market looks like. Of course, you have Thanksgiving. Those are gimmies. We can't really, regardless if the world was coming to an end, the flights would be full for those days. Same goes for around Christmas. But if we're looking at November, December, leading up until the third week of December, and also January, of course, and February historically are super low prices, you will be able from LA round trip to fly to Rome, to Paris, to London, to Scandinavia, to wherever for about $500 round trip on any airline. And to me, that means that demand is kind of not we're not back to normal. We saw a big surge, but right now people are looking at their portfolio and they're worried about their jobs. And now we have a whole different animal in front of us. That's going to be challenging, even with currencies being very favorable for people who live in the U.S. right now.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, these cash fares are crazy. The interesting thing is so many of these are now basic economy fares, and basic economy restrictions are back, but the clientele are not necessarily used to that. So how
Right.
much spoilages are actually going to occur on these flights from folks who book in advance and then ultimately don't go?
Right.
The other, and you know, in the miles and points world, you're also seeing even price reductions. I mean, you've got now you can go transatlantic for as low as 12,000 points, $200 on a reputable airline. That's pretty awesome. But at
No
the same
kidding.
time, who wants to fly in coach if you can fly in business, right?
Right. No kidding. It's an interesting time for sure. I mean, right now, I predict that we're going to see, what has happened is that, a lot of the Japan routes have been closed and a lot of Asian routes have been closed. And those are obviously now all scrambling to come back into traffic because of the recent moves by Japan. And we also know that Taiwan is doing the same thing. Korea is available. All these countries are now open. So we're going to see a lot of stuff happening there. There's probably going to be an initial demand, but I'm not even sure that that's going to be the case. But, what we've seen so far is that I wasn't aware that, normally from London to Tokyo, there's like 10, 15, 20 flights a day.
Right.
And in the last, through the pandemic, it's been one or two, and ANA are the only ones that fly, and nobody else. Lufthansa doesn't fly there from Frankfurt, and BA has canceled all of their flights to both Haneda and to Kix and to Narita. It has just been empty. Now they're all coming back. Obviously, they're going to have to take a little detour because of the crazy Russian, but the crazy white Russian, the drink. But that's obviously something that's coming back. But I think that this winter is going to be I don't know, obviously we saw the dollar was extremely strong compared to the euros and the pound. A couple of days ago, we saw the low of that. I don't think it's going to go back to being that low again, but we're still seeing at like 111 and 98 cents for the euro, which and about the same for the Schiffers, the Swiss franc. So I think that if you have the money, this is a good time to go, huh?
It's a great time to go, and it remains to be seen what happens with the pound. London
Right.
and as a tourist destination may suddenly become extremely popular for Americans. It's a general gateway to Europe. It's less scary for somebody's first trip because they speak the language. We have a common heritage in America. So folks are, willing to explore it. And while London's become much more affordable post-Brexit, with the currency heading towards the toilet and no signs of improving, it's a great spot to vacation as an American or somebody who makes their money in dollars like I do.
No kidding. Same here. All right. So a good time to go. If you have the money, you have the time, rock and roll and get the hell out of your house and get on that flight. But be careful with the COVID. It's still out there. I can't believe I finally caught it. And it's not that. It's just it wasn't it felt horrible for a couple of days, but after I got that medicine, it worked great. But it's just a pain in the ass with the rest of the household and the moving around the society and all that kind of stuff. All the things you have to jump through is a pain in the ass. So worth trying to not get it if you can. The next subject I want to talk to. How do you know anything about the California high-speed rail?
Well, last I knew, the Trump administration had backed out of the joint venture on it and wasn't going to fund it. And then I understood there was something in the legislation, but I have not paid attention. The draft plan, Palmdale to Burbank. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's about 2.5 years ago. So we're done with that. Trump lost, thankfully, for the high-speed rail that happened. But the Central Valley segment, and it's not the one that's orange here. It's from Bakersfield all the way up to Merced. Is actually going to be done in 2029. It's the latest track, if you will. And what we've seen now is so they focused on that first. The funding is there. They have gotten the funding. They got $4 billion additional. All the lawsuits have been thrown out indefinitely. There's no more recourse for any legal action at all for the segments that are there for now. So what you see from Merced to Bakersfield will be done in 2029. And it's building faster now with the funds than anticipated. So I am quite confident in the 2029 line. So obviously nobody's going to take a train from Merced to Bakersfield. But from Salesforce Transit Center downtown, actually not almost Salesforce Transit Center. Salesforce Transit Center is actually a new station that was built in San Francisco and is operational. And there's a high-speed rail station in it down the basement. But there's it stops at each side. You have to drill holes to get to the rest of the world on each side of that. A brand new station that's ready to go and has the connection to buses and to the subway in San Francisco and all that stuff. So quite the accomplishment there. But there is obviously, as you might or might not know from those who watched it, I try to do an update every 2 weeks on this thing when we have this show. It's from downtown San Francisco to Gilroy, you have Caltrain. And Caltrain electrification project is pretty much done. They're in the final stages of testing it, and it will come online later this year, which means that that line is a cooperation between High Speed Rail, who funded $800 million of that, and then Caltrain, who did the rest of it, meaning that they got new Siemens trains coming in that are already here. They're testing. It's not the biggest increase in speed, but as you know, a person who has been around the world and taken trains a lot, acceleration from a groaning old diesel train to an electric one is completely different. So even if it only goes 11 miles an hour faster, it means that, it's a lot of stop and go because there's so many stations between. So the area from downtown San Francisco to Gilroy is electrifying. And so meaning that the first piece of it to San Jose is already done. The rest of it to Gilroy is is the next piece that's going to be done. So that really means that Bakersfield to San Francisco is kind of like a done deal, minus the intersection from Madera to Gilroy. It has been approved, but it hasn't been funded yet. So, but since we are, 7 years from completion of the Central Valley segment, I feel optimistic that since it's been approved that, with the projected high surplus of California next year, it will be funded for that. So now they've started the work on the Palmdale to Burbank area for making sure that, and it's important for them to pick, as you can see from this map, this is based on this is politics, not common sense down here between Bakersfield and Burbank. It's because that son of a bitch politician in Palmdale, I have no idea who he or she is, but wanted to have a train stop there, and that's why it's like that. Or he wouldn't approve funding and ridiculous stuff. So that's why it's like that. Still, they are still on track to deliver 202 hours, completing San Francisco to Los Angeles in 2 hours and 40 minutes or less.
That's fantastic. I've done that drive several times, and I've done it by rail.
It's not the best roads in the world, and also there tend to be a little traffic when you get south of Bakersfield. So I think that at the end of the day, now that's the last piece that needs to get approval, they need to get that going. They are way ahead of the curve on getting this rolling right now. Hopefully we will have the ability to see by 2032 to see Bakersfield to San Francisco, and by in the next 12 years, we will be able to see a completion in this project is my estimate right now.
Are the Siemens rail cars they're getting similar to the new Excella Siemens cars, or are they a different variant?
No, these are complete. These are 2-story regional trains.
Okay.
Let me find a picture of it. It's
So that are more traditional electrified trains.
These are not high-speed trains. No, these are like local trains, as you can see here. So it's just these trains can do 125 miles per hour, and they kind of are so they are two-story commuter trains, if you will, is what they are. So and they're here. They're going up and down the tracks, and they're testing them out, getting them ready for the rollout. I think that we're talking the second week of January is when they're going to be in traffic. Which means that you can, getting from San Francisco to San Jose, it will change dramatically time-wise. We're talking about, a good 10 minutes faster than what it is now.
But every little bit makes a big difference.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like good about this progress that's happened here, that they're now, they got the all of the environmental studies happening in the last quarter for the northern part from Madeira to Gilroy has been approved. Same with the Caltrain share tract area has also been done. So and that they've adjusted it now from being the first piece to be ready in 2032 to 2029, I think is shocking, to be honest with you. All right, and that's I think all I have for today. The last comment I had for today is it kind of looks like a fishing boat, to be honest with you. Looks like Ritz-Carlton came out, or have they even launched yet? Aren't they delayed again?
Their luxury yachts, I thought they were postponed. Yeah, because they were supposed to be
like
this year.
October 1st, I think. So right around the corner now. But it seems like Ritz-Carlton also wanted a piece of that action. I mean, Four Seasons wanted a piece of that action. So they have also launched something called Four Seasons Yachting. And this ship is supposed to have less than 100 cabins, and the biggest space average per cabin of any cruise line in the world. The accommodation will start at 581 square feet, and more than half the suites will have 818 square feet or more of combined indoor and outdoor space. And the funnel suite is what they are is supposed to be the most spectacular suite ever delivered on a cruise ship. It's supposed to go on 4 levels, this suite, and be close to 10,000 square feet. So good to be rich, good to have a lot of money. I think the boat is ugly, though, or ship, or whatever we want to call it. It looks like I don't even know what it looks like.
It's not exciting.
Nah. You have a big thing on the back there, and there's only one picture.
I'm surprised that they just didn't buy one of the existing cruise ships that, from the cruise lines that were going out of business, and retrofitted that. Would have probably come at a much better price for a much bigger ship.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, they wanted to make sure that this is a hybrid ship and sustainable, meaning that when you go into the fjords and when you are in various areas around the world now, you're only allowed to use battery as propulsion, like the fjords of Norway, the areas of the Arctic and things like that. They have restrictions on that kind of stuff, that they don't let you puff out smoke around diesel smoke or bunker smoke when you're up there. So I think that's one of the things that they wanted, an environmentally friendly approach to things. So I think that's the reason for that. But exciting to see. And you guys, lastly, I wanted to talk about before we cut it off for today. You got the Chicago seminars coming out. Whoops.
Yeah, so we had a few hiccups. So ticketing came out a little later than we wanted, but October 21st through 23rd is the 12th annual Chicago Seminars. It is a fantastic event in Chicago. We're raising money this year for Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen. So it's a completely not-for-profit event. We spend the weekend networking with fellow miles and points people, beginners all the way through the most advanced folks. networking, hanging out, talking miles and points, loyalty programs. We've got some interesting sessions. Disability travel looks like it'll be added. We've got, breakouts by Airline Alliance. My topic, I do get to speak. Somebody let me talk. It's the British are coming. Why more Americans are joining British frequent flyer loyalty programs. But amazing conversations happen. And in 24 hours of ticketing, we've sold 100 tickets. So that's
very
huge.
impressive.
Yes.
That is impressive. That is impressive.
Yes. We were talking yesterday, Tommy. We had some worries.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm not going to lie to you. It's for us also for FTU. It's this event used to be, the Chicago seminar used to be 500-600 people, and we used to be, what was the biggest one we had? Like 900 people or something like that. And we're not seeing those numbers anymore, but we're seeing 100 people together of good old friends. That's going to be an awesome thing that I wouldn't want to miss for sure. So I think that if you're looking to go and figure something or to hang out with a lot of our old friends, and I'm looking at the speaker list, there's going to be a lot of interesting people for sure. So that's going to be cool. Go to Chicago and hang out with us on the 21st or the 23rd of October. I think that'll be a good gig, and it looks exciting. It's
looking like it's going to be a great time. One thing that we did, and we talked about this offline, Tommy, way before. We intentionally built this out as a smaller event this year. So we built it as 150 people with the ability to stretch to 200 versus normal 400 or so. And that's, I think, for a variety of reasons. Number one, there's a lot of events that have just canceled, that are just not being repeated. And then there's other folks who are just rolling with the punches, such as, FTUs, you're smaller, but you found ways to be innovative by partnering up with the different shows and the like, and really tailoring to your audience. This similarly here, we've taken that experience. There are some vaccine requirements, just very simple, but we clearly communicated that early on. And the hope is that a year from now, this event will be back to normal. But in the meanwhile, we're able to we're really able to plan a successful event that really promises to be great. And
I wouldn't read into so much that you guys are launching late. I think that's, technical things happen, and that's cool. But I think that people need to look at the speakers that are going to be there. That's the cool thing. And I think that it's an icon of an event. And for us, we are moved more into the FTU has moved more into virtual, and been surprised at how many members we have, close to 2,000 members, multiple people signing up every day for our annual membership. So we're more virtual right now, and we're seeing, hundreds of people show up for that. And we are, our contract with the Travel and Adventure Show is more of the future of the FTU, if you will. But it's also important for us to have a community event. Where we all came from when back in the days, 12, 15 years ago, when we were, hanging out on Flyer Talk and meeting in various areas in Vegas and Chicago for having a few beers and things like that. So we will keep, while the large event for the FTU is definitely gone forever. Not really, because the Travel and Adventure Show, where we have a stage, will obviously have 30,000-40,000 people in there. But the classic ones, it's our following is you and I and everybody else, where our friends are getting older, and then the younger kids might not have the same interest in showing up the same way that we will. So I think that that's the gig, but I think that it's important that we try to support the two events that we have. And it's cool that the Chicago was the OG, and LaGuardia after that, and so I think that I think it's interesting. We've had, looking here, we've had 24,000 people that has attended an FTU throughout the times, and if we were to take you guys or the Chicago seminars, looking at, we see 500 on average. we're talking, 6,000 people that has attended. Those are some big numbers and a lot of work behind, a lot of volunteer work. And obviously we have gone for profit back in 2016 with these events. But at the end of the day, for us, it still had been a labor of love and a lot of work for an event that, we charge $149, you guys charge $135. And, we're all good friends and we support the FTU, 100% supports the Chicago event. And I think that if you have the opportunity, you can't go to our event, definitely go to that or both. And we're going to have a great time in Chicago and have some pizza. I think that's cool. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'm going to see you guys there for sure.
Very excited to see you. Thanks, Tommy, for let's put this
Thank
on.
you so much for your time. It's always, my friend. We're going to end the show by tonight or today, and it's time for you to go to bed anyway. So what time is it there?
Oh, it's almost 1 a.m., so it's definitely bedtime here in Tel Aviv.
There you go. How's the baby?
Baby's got a little bit of a cold, her first cold at 3 months old. Yeah. So they make these little things that are little snot suckers. It's not a fun experience, but it's got a filter, but you're still sucking the snot out of your baby, but it does wonders.
Be careful so you don't get any more stuff out of there,
I know.
There might be things that you might need later.
Take all the
all right.
out.
All the best to you and the kids and to Sandy as well. And I'll see you next time. Take care.
See you soon. Bye.
Thanks everybody for tuning in and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.